If you want to do a skirt with a straight waistband and no visible stitching, no top stitching at all, first of all I got my straight waistband here. I overlocked one edge and then I folded and ironed. Now just put it on with right against right and sewn it 1 centimeter. So now it's ready for the further, because that's the only difference there is from this the straight waistband with the top stitching and the straight waistband without, is how it's placed in the beginning and what we're doing from now. So a lot of things you can just look into the straight waistband with the top stitching, and then you can continue doing this one. Now first of all I got my edges and I'm going to fix that. I folded like that, like this, and I'm stitching from the back side because it's so much easier to catch the right point. So I'm doing that, I'm stitching from that last stitching and over the edge here so I can get a nice look, and to make sure it's in a straight line with the zipper. So if I turn this around, this one around, you'll see then it's in line, and I can just make sure I got the nice corners here. Yeah. Now I got one side, the other one is longer. Here I folded again, the bottom edge is upon each other, then I stitch it here and to that point 1 centimeter of seam allowance. And to the first or last point, or depending on how you have attached this. Okay, so now I just cut away the corner here and turn it around, the right side out of it, and helping to make it look nice. So you've got beautiful corners. Like that. So now is the next part, and that is we've got to do a stitching, but not a visible stitching. We've got to do a stitching in the shadow of the seam, because first of all I place my seam allowance into the waistband, then I cover with this one where I got my overlock. I'm going to stitch it from the right side here in the shadow of the seam, like that, and all the way, and you'll see here where I done this, I'm going to get a nice corner and a nice overlap. At the other side where I done this one, you'll see that I can do it like that, so it's actually a little bit away from the zipper. So here again, place it and have my pins. And now it's time to stitch it, as I call it, in the shadow of the seam. So do that. Make sure you're not jumping up upon the waistband. You've got to keep staying at the shadow so it won't be seen. And of course, if you use a different colour, maybe a black or a red or whatever, it is possible to see it, but because I'm using the same colour as my fabric, it's not to be seen. So you see, this is just keeping it down and my seam allowance up into that, and I'm stitching all the way. nearly done. And here it is. You see, of course I got the stitching here at back, but at front it's not visible. So now I got the skirt with a straight waistband but not the visible stitching. So now I do not have to stitch it up here. Again, this is part of my design. It could be for a pair of trousers as well as it could be for this skirt. Now it's only time for the bottom and the buttonhole, and when you put that, there are different ways. I love it if it looks like this, to place my buttonhole as this part. Somebody like it to put their buttonhole on this part, but for me, putting it here, I'm a little bit afraid of this giving these two donkey ears, so I like it more like this because I find it to be better for my eyes. But all depending on what you like. So waistband without visible stitching. Did you like what you just seen, and do you want to learn more? Then subscribe. I'll constantly develop and upload new things, all based upon the professional way of sewing. All the best from me, and good luck with your work.